Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know who this be, it's your girl KylerB coming at you with a new video. So today we're going to be talking about Stranger Things 4 Volume 2. Like, I currently just finished it. And let's get right into this video because I have some thoughts on what happened, what transpired in these last 2 episodes. This, like, basically 3-4 hour kind of, event that we've seen. Yeah, let's get right into it. Let's just say, 11, finally realizing, she got her powers back. She knows how to use them, whatnot. She, escaped from that underground, experiment lab. And then, Dr. Brenner, was trying to, I guess, save her, but, he got shot down. And all that stuff, and he ended up dying. My take on Dr. Brenner, that's episode 8. He wasn't that bad of a dude. I mean, he was just basically a guy just trying to experiment on kids who have this power or extraordinary thing that nobody else has, and he's just experimenting with it and testing them and treating them in lab. He did have his flaws and faults for sure, but in the end, he died, ending up saving 11, and then the pizza crew came to save her. So then we got Argyle, Jonathan, Will, and Mike. They find where 11 is. Let's just go in and talk about this Will and Mike talk. Will likes Mike, and obviously that talk in the car was just him basically expressing his feelings to Mike. But the thing is what's been said since season 1. Mike does not like Will like that. Like, that's just been stated. Like, he does not. I mean, people want to be like, oh, Will, Mike should have known what he was saying, what he was talking about, that, when he was like expressing himself, but it's just, Mike is not going to think that way. I mean, obviously he coded it, by saying that it was about 11, like 11, Mike is scared that 11's not going to need him anymore, all that stuff. And really, he basically just subbed out, 11 with himself in this scenario. It was a sad scene, obviously. And then Jonathan realizing what his brother is expressing, just seeing the pain on his face, and him crying in the back of the car. Yeah, that was sad. Also, we have a lot happening. Obviously, Lucas and Max, like, literally one of the best ships in the show. Yeah, just Lucas and Max. They're trying to prepare to see the Vecna. Nancy got out of that, like, thing real quick, because he just basically did not kill Nancy because he wanted Nancy to be the messenger to 11. But this seems like 11 can piggyback through people's minds, so she can just search through somebody's mind and figure out like what they're thinking or what they're doing at that point, which is actually a pretty cool concept that they were doing. Like, just 11 finding out where Max is and like listening to what Dustin was saying about his plan. Basically Dustin basically explaining that both 11 and 1 have the same type of powers. They can do the same type of thing. Basically, when they go into this, like, telepathic mode, their body, or like air, astral projecting, like, their body is somewhere while their mind is somewhere else. So their body is defenseless if nobody's protecting it. Therefore, they can attack the Vecna, their Vecna's body, that way while he's astral projecting in people's minds and all that stuff. So that was actually a really interesting plan, just like how 11 goes into a tub of water and then she like starts to projects into people's minds and like find out what's going on. That is what, Vecna was doing, and that's how they were able to get to Vecna. So let's just talk about the finale, episode 9. Obviously, that was like a 2.5-hour thing. That was like a movie for real. That was just, it was a lot. It was a lot. Let's just say this first things first. Jason had what was coming to him. He had what was coming to him. Like, he really messed up a lot. Like, we were having a good coordinated plan. He basically had his goons beat up Erica or have Erica hostage or like pinned down. Like, Erica is like, what, 10, 11 in the show? Like, she's a young kid. She's in middle school. And you have some goon pinning her down. Like, hello? And then, next thing you know, we got Jason talking about how they're in a cult and all that stuff. Like, then having Eddie as, enemy number 1, which is real sad when we get to that point. But, Eddie number 1 basically pointing a gun at Lucas. So I'm just like, I just felt offended with what they were doing. Okay, I mean, I understand we're in the 80s, but like, you basically blaming Eddie and this high school club for the death of your girlfriend. And then there's people who are unrelated in the situation. Like, what was waking up Max going to do? Like, what was waking up Max going to do? Like, Max going to tell you what happened to Chrissy? Like, Chrissy gone. Like, what you going to do? I mean, unless you're going to send him to jail, like, what you going to do? Anyway, you beating up Lucas, all that jazz, all that stuff, trying to get him to wake Max up while she is in, a state of, she can't be waking up unless, the music. Then he broke the song music thing, so Lucas couldn't even get the thing to like put the Kate Bush song on. Nope, because that thing's broken. 11 came to save the day. She was really working. Like, I would say the pizza crew, they actually stepped up to the plate. Once they got 11, they actually knew what to do, because beforehand they were just basically a useless type of thing. Then we have this Russian crew. We got Joyce, Hopper, Murray, the other 2 Russian people. They're fighting off the Demigorgons. They're trying to find a way out of this prison and then find a way out of Russia. But obviously they put 2 and 2 together. Because the thing is that what we find out in the show is that it's basically everything is connected. Everything is ties together. So it's a hive mind mentality. 11, like I said in my volume 1 review, 11 created, opened the door to the Upside Down, which sent 1 to 1 became this type of leader of the Upside Down. Was have his goons, the Demigorgons, the dogs, all that stuff. He got his goons in that Upside Down. He's able to have hive minds, control things, and then he has the same entire powers, just like 11. So it's like really a battle because he's fighting somebody who has basically the same type of powers that he has. So 11 basically opened the portal. We find out when she closed it, he decided to open his own portals. So he opened his own portals, and then he also used 11's power. So that's when she lost it in season 3, he took her power to start creating his own, doors, windows to the Upside Down. So because 11 actually closed the Upside Down, and then somewhere, it was open still. So he basically explained that to 11 to her face. She's basically kind of like the cause, and effect of all of this, because her doing what she did to 1, got all of Hawkins in a disarray. So that was basically, very interesting. And then also towards the end, where you see Will saying he can still feel one. He's like, no, like finally realizing that it's one who's basically doing this, and he can feel him and he knows that one is still alive because there is a hive mind mentality. Basically, by, you know, Steve, Nancy, and Robin throwing fire at the Vecna and then like burning it and, you know, shooting him down, all of the bats, you know, started to die. You know, all of the demigorgons and stuff, like, they started to feel weak because I guess the Vecna had like some type of source power of something that was going on. Like, he had some type of power or hive mind mentality. So they were feeling weak because obviously, how did all the bats started to die? Like, how did the bats just die? Now, let's get to Eddie. As we know, spoiler, Eddie died. I would say, you know, I can see what the writers were doing, trying to say, like, you know, he was a coward. They showed in volume 1 that, you know, he didn't even try to save anyone. He just cared about himself. And then in volume 2, he's like, you know what? I can't run. I gotta help and stuff like that. Which is like, I understand you're trying to like turn a coward into a hero. But I mean, it was a dumb situation because I'm like, obviously, realistically, you weren't going to kill all the bats yourself. Realistically. Like, you couldn't really kill all those bats by yourself. So I'm like, what was the purpose of killing them off? I personally did not care because there was no deep attachment to Eddie, but it was a sad death because even him dying as this hero, as this martyr, the whole town that he tried to save and be a hero for still hates him. Still basically is like pointing a finger at him as being the reason why, you know, the 4 kids died. So it's just like, it's kind of like he died in vain if you want to put it together, like, because you got the town still thinking you did something, you know, heinous, and then you got all this going on, and then you're just gone, you know, because you decided to fight off a whole swarm of bats. Like, okay, like, you put on your hero cape, but not everybody can be Steve. Like, okay, not everybody can be Steve. Okay, sorry, but I'm just like, if he was gonna die, it should have been like a reason. The bat thing was just like, come up with a better plan. That didn't make any sense. But it was a sad death because, you know, he didn't like, it was nothing, it was just very sad. 11, she did her thing. Lucas, he did his thing. Max, she did her thing. Like, they were like the top 3 of the season. Like, let me just let you know. 11 came. She came to save everybody. She is actually really interesting that she was the one to bring Max back to life. So, I don't know. It's actually quite interesting of her power that she's able to do so. She's able to piggyback into people's minds, able to, I guess, kickstart her heart to start pumping again. You know, that's kind of like a really interesting power because if she really keeps on digging into whatever else she can do, she's really, really powerful. Like, that's, yeah. And then Lucas, man got a black eye from Jason. He was fighting off this guy, trying to save Max. You know, it was just so sad, him crying out, like, Erica, get the hospital, call the hospital. You know, he didn't know that 11 was there because obviously she was piggybacking into Max's mind. So he didn't know 11 was there. So it was just really him, Erica, and a lifeless Max. And then Max is just like, she's like, I can't feel anything. I can't see anything. And it was just so sad. And then like seeing that like visual of Max's body like breaking, like her arm went first and then her legs went next. It was just like, it was just so gory. Like, whoa, like the snapping of her arms and legs was just whoa. Also, last but not least, let's get into Steve and Nancy. I'm telling you, I told you since my volume 1, I was like, Steve and Nancy, I've been Stanty Hive since day 1. Obviously went through some rocky roads, but we're coming back. Okay, don't let that little ending fool you. We're coming back. I guarantee. I'm just kidding. But like, I feel like in season 5, they're definitely gonna ending up together. Like, you don't build up Stancy and the whole entire season 4 to not even do anything with it. I mean, I don't think they're that dumb as writers. Okay, but yeah, it was a decent season 4. Very gory. I mean, I can see where their money went in. That whole earthquake thing was interesting. Like, the whole town just broke. I mean, I think the theme of season 5 is Hawkins will fall. Basically, the whole town is basically like into 4 different sections, because that's how the earthquake thing, quote unquote earthquake, happened. They like cut into 4 pieces of Hawkins. My thing is just did what Joyce did and go to Nevada, like find some other place to live, because Hawkins is gonna go through a lot in season 5. Okay, 11 gonna have to come get her goon. I'm just kidding, but she's gonna have to recharge, because 1 come with a vengeance. He's coming for blood for real. But it was a decent season. Yeah, my thoughts was Eddie's death was sad, but I don't think it was necessary. Yeah, Max, Lucas, and 11, top 3 of the season. Like, they really did what they needed to do. Dustin, I don't know how he got that limp, what he did, but I guess it's because he jumped, and that's how he got the limp, from jumping from the thing to the upside down. But it was just so sad, Eddie basically died in his arms. Joyce and Hopper being together, Hopper reuniting with 11, which is so nice. If you like the video, comment down below, let me know your thoughts, comments, concerns, and you haven't subscribed to my channel, subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. Peace.